What's going on, everybody? This is Catfish on Ice, episode 173, with your hosts, Chad Minton, Rich Howe, and Kyle Perkins. The crew is together as we dive into all the monstrosities that are going on surrounding the Nashville Predators right now.
Oh, my gosh. So bad. So bad. Exactly.
First of all, our apologies for missing last night's episode. Better late than never, though. We're here. We're ready to go. We're going to have to talk about what happened against the Arizona Coyotes on Monday night. Was that the most disappointing loss of the season? Because I would venture to say it was.
Yeah, I would say so. That was the Coyotes' first road win in 19 games. They have been beaten 19 times previous to coming into Bridgestone Arena.
It was.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
There is no excuse for losing to a team like the Coyotes. With all due respect, a team that is completely packed it in. They're literally on Connor Bedard watch. That's all they're thinking about right now, and their NHL lottery hopes being improved. Yep. And as you just mentioned, Rich, the team had not won. But how many games have they won since January? What was their?
I don't know, like 2.
It was a crazy streak. Yeah, it was something crazy. And, you would think the Predators would come in and be ready to go, treat it and they come in completely lifeless with no energy, with nothing. And it really makes you wonder what's going on. And this trade deadline keeps getting closer and closer. So I just don't know how they dig their way out of this at this point.
I don't either. One of the big things, and it was very concerning to me. And I have never complained about this particular individual for this at all, ever.
Dante Fabro.
No, Roman Josi.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Third period losing to the Yotes, and he is on the bench laughing.
Oh, I did not see that, Kyle.
Yeah.
I missed that. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Big smile on his face, laughing
not
at
a good look.
His teammates. And it's just like, man, I understand that you're not the yelling, screaming captain type, and I am perfectly okay with that. Understand it 100%. You can't be on TV laughing when your team is losing to one of the bottom 2 teams in the league, and it just
need to be angry. You should be angry.
I don't even know if you need to be angry, but don't be laughing.
And let's not forget the fact that the one win the Predators do have since the All-Star break was not what you would call a very pretty win either. So it's not been a good look since they've come out of the All-Star break whatsoever. And so we're going to break down this loss a little bit more, talk about what we saw out of that game against the Coyotes, and of course Rich's second favorite team in the league. The team that's running through everybody right now, the Boston Bruins, is up next. And, the Predators like to troll us a lot. They like to really toy with our emotions. I mean, I've seen crazier things happen. They're going to pull out a win somehow and get people talking again.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they do. They play good against the good teams who should beat them and play horrible against teams like the Coyotes. Trap game.
Yeah.
Trap.
All right, so we're going to break down the Coyotes game. This is episode 173. We already got a bunch of comments pouring in from our awesome listeners. Again, we're sorry we missed last night's episode, but you know what? We're here and we're ready to go. All right, speaking of which, Johnny jumps in and says, ready to go.
Yeah, he's been waiting a while. He said, we appreciate that for sure.
Appreciate it. Mike Twitter's in. He says, yo, Johnny. He says, yo, Chad, Rich, and Kyle. And Lindsay's here. She says, hi, friends.
Hello, Lindsay.
And then we've got an update on the fantasy hockey playoffs have started, gentlemen. And my current playoff opponent, Chris, says, hey, Chad, could you please stop absolutely decimating my hopes and dreams in the fantasy playoffs? You know what? I'm sorry, Chris, but I got to bring it right now. All right. I feel like my team is so ready. I've never felt more confident in my squad than right now. We're going to take it. We're going to take the defending champ down. Kyle, you're going down, my man. I'm sorry. Your reign of terror is over.
Unless Lindsay takes me out, she was beating me at last I checked.
So yeah, I'm I'm actually third right now in the league, and guess who didn't set their players on Monday night?
Oh, rookie mistake.
No.
Oh, and you wait till the playoffs to do that? Come on, man.
I know. Dumb.
Lincoln's burner account?
I'm at third
Come on,
place.
man. Dude, you were running through people there.
I know.
Dude, you were mowing through some people. I was like, I do not want to play Rich right now.
Yeah,
Your team was.
I don't think you're going to have to worry about it.
But I got to tell you something. This has been, this is the second year that we've done the Catfish and Ice Podcast Fantasy League. We've got some new teams in the league, but we've got a lot of the same people that played as well. And I got to tell you, the competition level in this year's league has been amazing. I mean, everyone's keeping up with their teams. You've seen plenty of upsets. The points are really close. I mean, it's been a really fun league. So everyone that's participated, it's been a lot of fun. Of course, as long as the winner is not me, Rich, or Kyle, then we will send some type of a gift card, a prize pack, something to the winning team. And we'll send it to the second place team if it's one of us, that ends up winning. But you've got UC Soros who's first. He's the Boston Bruins right now of the Fantasy Hockey League. And I took him down. In the season finale. I was so proud of myself for that.
Look at you.
It's been a fun league. It really has.
It has.
All right. Sure. Let's dive into it more. Again, we are presented by DraftKings and Raycon Global, the wireless earbuds and speakers. Promo codes THPN. We'll tell you more about our sponsors later on. And then, of course, on our YouTube channel right now, and it will also be on the audio version of this episode, Kyle Hall of Broadway Hat Podcast jumped on. He covers the Rangers. You might be asking, why would I bring someone on from the Rangers? What does that have to do with anything in regards to the Nashville Predators right now? Well, he put out a very, very interesting tweet that I came across on my timeline a couple days ago, bringing up Tanner Jeannot and how much of a perfect fit he would be in a trade scenario to the New York Rangers, because he says the New York Rangers need more grit. They need more physicality for the playoff run, and he loves him some Tanner Jeannot. So we talked about that. We talked about Patrick Kane rumors going to the Rangers. It was a really fun conversation with Kyle, and he will be at the end of this episode, or like I said, you can also catch it on our YouTube channel right now. And while you're there, please hit subscribe. It helps a ton. All right. We also are going to take a look at my updated Preds trade board. I've changed it. I introduced it in last week's episode. I took one player off and I put a new player on it.
All right.
So I'm gonna dish out those 5 players to Kyle and Rich, and I'm gonna get their reaction, see if they got any players that they would add to the list. We're gonna do that. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and we'll look ahead and talk about David Poyle's comments regarding the deadline that he told Robbie and Rexroad on 102.5 The Game. Was very honest. I got to say, I appreciate the honesty from David Poyle, but he pretty much said, look, guys, we're definitely not going to be buyers, most likely. And if anything, we might be sellers if things don't get better here soon.
And things aren't getting better.
So we got to break down those comments. We really do. So let's get into it, everybody. Kyle, I know you already kind of hinted at it with the Roman Josi thing, but what else do you think really went wrong here against the Coyotes in that 4-2 loss on Monday?
It's a lot easier to tell you what went right.
Okay, that's fair. You can go that route.
Kevin Lankinen played a pretty decent game. That's about all I got for you. Everything else pretty much went wrong.
Really? You think Lankinen had a decent game?
I mean,
he only faced 18 shots. He gave up 3 goals. They weren't on him necessarily, but I don't know. I
was trying to find something positive.
So they connected on the power play. We'll give them that. It was 1 out of 5, but they did get a power play goal. So good for them on that one.
The Herd line did well. Colton Sisson, Jakoff Trennan, and Jeannot. Sisson got a goal. Trennan got an assist. I don't know.
We're having to dig deep here, fellas. We're having to dig really deep to find something. We're having to dig really deep right now to find something positive from that game. Oh, yeah, I'll give you something positive. PK Subban got honored. That was our positive.
Okay, yeah.
That was good.
And I'm sad that it was that way for him.
Yeah, got spoiled. It really did.
He did.
It totally got spoiled. I found some interesting comments that he made regarding that he told the Ballion Sports broadcast, though. He told the crew that some of his best years of hockey was while he was playing with the Predators. So I thought that was cool. And he still seems to think, I'm sure he was just trying to butter up the fan base and stuff, but he seems to think the Predators are a much better team than what most people think they are. But I think he was just being nice.
I don't know about that. Can't agree with Mr. Subban there on that point.
I think he was just being a nice guy.
He was. Seemed like it. It's cool to see him there. He's always very entertaining. There were some pictures online of him meeting with he did the charity thing, the Blue Line Buddies, where he'd bring in.
Yeah, I love that. That's so awesome. Yeah.
And he actually brought some back from when he was there. He brought some and met with him again the other night, which was really cool. So that's always good to see. We all like PK Subban.
So here's a really quirky stat from the Coyotes game here. The Coyotes had 4.59 expected goals for in this game, but only had 19 shots on goal. That is strange. That leads to tell me that their chances were quality over quantity. The chances they did get were very quality, whereas we know very well what the Predators do. They like to fire these shots that have no chance. And it's like, oh, let's not get you started on Cole Smith again, man. But that's the quirkiest stat of the game right there, though. Is they almost expected 5 goals for the Coyotes despite having so little shots on goal.
Yeah, for sure. Not to pile on Roman Josi or anything, but he did get a goal from one of his shots from the blue line, that was good. He shoots those a lot, trying to get puck on the net for a rebound or something, but one finally went in for him. It seems like it's been a while, but that was good. That was a good point.
Yeah.
I mean,
he scored.
It's few and far between.
It is.
I will say the Coyotes got themselves a really, really good young goaltender in Vejmelka.
Yeah.
That dude is legit. What's that?
Who is a product of what system?
He's a product of the Predator system, of course.
Yep.
Also a product of this Predator system. Well, he originally Tampa Bay Lightning, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know. I just think this is one of.
Go ahead.
Finish.
No, you go ahead. And I'm gonna.
No, you go. I was just gonna say this real quick. This is one of those games where all the haters can come out in droves and say, "See, I told you so. I told you this team is trash." And they can have their heyday now, and they can tell us all how dumb we were for buying the Kool-Aid there for a little bit going into the All-Star break. Have your day in the sun, because that's the type of game that gets all the haters fired up over this team, because you can't let games like that slip away. You just can't.
Yeah, we got to see Mr. Tomasino come back. That made everybody happy, but didn't really have much bearing on the game.
No, he didn't make much of an impact. He got about 15 minutes of ice time, only got one shot on goal.
I know people don't pay much attention to plus minus, but he was -1 out there.
Did you guys like the spot? Did you like the spot he came in the lineup, being on a line with Granlund and Johansson? What did you guys think about that?
That's what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted him back and wanted to give him put him with some, the top 2 lines, and everybody got their wish and just didn't produce anything. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it's, him having the jitters coming back or just getting back into playing NHL minutes, or if it was just the team just is horrible or whatever it is. But
I wouldn't call the team horrible. They're just They're just mediocre. They're mediocre.
Yeah.
They're inconsistent, and they're certainly not a team that's going anywhere anytime soon in terms of being anything more than what they've been for the past 3 or 4 years. Got some more comments coming in here. Boyd jumps on here. Haven't seen Boyd in a while. How you been, man? Boyd says Vejmelka will be great piloting the Kings playoff run this year. All right, you heard it here first from Boyd.
Yep.
Vegemelka to the Kings, confirmed.
Confirmed?
That's not a bad take at all.
No, that's good.
Boyd also jumps in and says, "What's up, boys? Welcome to selling season." I'm okay with it.
I mean,
I want to see it happen.
It's finally, it's. I think it's time.
It's time.
It is time.
I think even David Poyle realizes, you know what? I can't fight this anymore.
No,
it's time to pull the Band-Aid off and get it over with.
That's what we're all saying for sure.
The Band-Aid has been hanging on for an extra 2 or 3 years, and it's finally needs to just finish it off. So
that gave me a really nasty image. Playoff odds right now, guys. You see it on the bottom of the screen there. It's fallen down to 17%. Preds sit 5 points back of both the wild card and third place. I find that interesting. Normally it's one or the other, but the fact that they do have 2 pathways to get back into the playoffs is still worth mentioning. I just got to say, I know that no one wants to hear that right now, but you're 5 points behind a lot of teams to get either in the top 3 or now Money Puck and their playoff odds give the Predators almost no chance compared to all the other teams that are ahead of them right now.
Yeah. So they're 5 behind third place Calgary in the wild card, and then 5 behind Minnesota, and then Edmonton, they're like 9 points behind them to get into the first wild card spot. That's just the wild card. I just don't see it happening, but that's just,
no, I don't either. But I'm just saying it's worth mentioning, and it is still out there.
Yep.
So, yeah. All right. So let me get into first. Let's preview tonight's or tomorrow night's game, or tonight's game if you're listening the next day here on the podcast. We got Boston up next, guys. How bad is this going to be? Or do you think the Preds are just like give us one of those random games where first of all, it's a matchup nightmare for the Predators.
Yes.
But it's a matchup nightmare for most teams, but it's definitely a matchup nightmare for a team that struggles to score, that struggles to deal with teams with a lot of speed. The Bruins are a really well-coached team. That they're a balanced, stacked team on both sides of the ice. Unless the Predators have one of those random games where they decide to score 4 or 5 goals, I don't see how they can keep up with the Bruins on the scoreboard. I think the Bruins are going to get their goals in this game, and it's just a matter of can the Preds keep up on the scoreboard. There's no reason to think they can.
The Bruins should be able to handle them pretty easily, I would think, but they've been showing some chinks in their armor, so they're not as dominant as they were before the break. They lost a couple games, and they struggled last night against Dallas. They won in overtime. On paper,
Dallas is a good team.
Dallas is an incredible team. Yeah, and but Bruins aren't really manhandling people like they were, and that's expected.
These out of conference games are always tricky. So anything could happen. Saros could turn in a really big gem. He's had a lot of rest lately. So, I'm not saying it's completely out of the realm of possibility for them to get a win here. But just matchup wise on paper, I just don't see how the Predators are going to be able to keep up with them. I could see them losing like 5-2 or something like that. I think it could get ugly. I definitely think that for sure.
I don't remember who started in goal for them last time, but either one of those guys could give the Predators fits, especially Olmark.
UC Saros is jumping in. We got a lot of people commenting on the show tonight. We appreciate it. UC Saros, aka Dead Cell, says Preds will win the next 2 and then drop the game against Minnesota as prophecy goes. I could see that.
That's usually how it goes.
That.
There was a cool video today. Jeremy Swayman from the Bruins, the backup goaltender, was at Carter's Vintage Guitar today playing in Nashville, playing a really sweet old vintage Telecaster. I kind of enjoyed that a little bit. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, it was very neat. They're hanging out in the Nash Vegas there.
By the way, guys, did you guys happen to watch the Super Bowl this past Sunday?
I did.
That's the
Did
first
you see
full
Chris
football
Stapleton?
game I watched all season.
It is the Super Bowl.
It is.
Oh, Chris Stapleton was, I mean, he literally almost had me in tears how beautiful that was. And, of course, Rihanna got more viewers than the game itself. Did y'all see that? She got,
I believe that.
More people watched the halftime show than they did the actual football game. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't miss much with the football game.
Yeah, the halftime show, I mean, it's cool to look at, but nothing's ever going to beat.
And it was, not to take anything.
Super Bowl. So.
And not to take anything from Rihanna. Obviously, she's a mega superstar, entertainer, conglomerate, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, the whole halftime show is lip syncing, so it's kind of
sure.
Yeah,
it's more of a spectacle than it is an actual concert.
Yeah, that's why I always say that the Prince halftime show will be probably the best halftime show ever. Because if you remember, it started raining a little bit during the halftime show, and he changed up his set and started playing Purple Rain. It was really awesome. Yeah, and
that's probably one of the that's it.
Yeah, no lip syncing going on there at all. So it was really awesome. So that's still my number one.
They need to let Metallica do it.
Everybody has said that for years. I don't understand.
That would be amazing.
You can't tell me they have enough clean music that they could play an epically amazing show that would blow the roof off.
Yeah, next time, they should have the Super Bowl at wherever the 49ers play, and then.
Because they're Bay Area guys. So.
Yeah, exactly. So they play the national anthem at the baseball games. Mm-hmm. So it's a perfect fit.
All right. Speaking of that, let's move on here. Let's tell you about DraftKings. Now that the NFL season's over, it's time to start focusing on some other sports here. And right now, this week's offer from DraftKings is for our NBA fans out there. NBA fans, it's time to bring the hoops action to the palm of your hand with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 and win $200 in free bets instantly. Plus, for a limited time, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay every day. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, opt in, and place a same-game parlay on any NBA game. And if it doesn't hit, you'll get a free bet back. So, you're doing your same game parlays here for an upcoming NBA game. And guys, come on now. I don't have NBA knowledge. Like I miss the old school 90s NBA when it was Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning and Allen Iverson. But I do tend to start dabbling in the NBA a little bit more this time of year just because, basketball was my favorite sport growing up as a kid. Like I had like every NBA jersey. Like I wore the NBA jerseys. And stuff. So I still dabble in it. I try to get into it. But right now with this offer from DraftKings, you can definitely bring the action of the NBA right to you and have a lot of fun with these same game parlays. Of course, LeBron James just set the all-time scoring record. He just passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And, of course, Rich is over there rolling his eyes. Not a LeBron fan, huh?
Totally different game. Mm-hmm. The NBA is a totally different league from when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played the game. Yeah.
Did Kareem even have a 3-point line?
Probably not. I don't even remember. He had that sky hook.
They always say that if Larry Bird could have played with the NBA 3-point line, that he would have been like the all-time leading scorer.
It wouldn't even be close.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Or even Michael Jordan. Even Michael Jordan didn't really shoot threes.
No.
Anyway, that's our TED Talk for the NBA right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Our totally uninformed TED Talk.
By the way, I will say this is really amazing. Did you guys see where Michael Jordan donated a $10 million donation to the Make-A-Wish Foundation? It's the biggest individual.
That was awesome.
I did.
It's the biggest individual donation by an individual ever to the foundation. I thought that was pretty cool. We need good news. There's so much bad news out there. It's amazing when you see good news like that. So props to Michael Jordan, who is the GOAT of the NBA of all time. I don't want to hear anything from it. We'll do a LeBron MJ. We'll do a LeBron MJ GOAT debate in the dead part of the offseason when nothing's going on.
We'll do that for sure. Yeah.
And we'll save that for a segment when nothing's going on.
Michael Jordan opened up his wallet and peeled off 10 $1 million bills because he's probably got those.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Most likely.
He's the only one who's got $10 million bills. So.
All right, so with that, download the app now and sign up with code THPN. New customers can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in free bets instantly only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. With code THPN, minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio. Please see our show notes below for details if you have a gambling addiction, have a gambling problem, and need help. All right, guys, I'm about to dish to you my updated top 5 players on my Preds trade board. It's going to be going across the bottom of the screen here so you can see it in real time. But so last week I had Colton Sissons on here. I took Colton Sissons off.
Colton Dougie Sissons.
I added Nino Niederreiter. I'm starting to really like the idea, guys, of trading Nino Niederreiter. I know he's only been here for a year. He hasn't even been here a full year yet, but
just hasn't really.
It's been. Well, I was so wrong on him. I was so pumped when they signed him over the offseason. I thought it was such a great pickup by David Poile. And I mean, I know he got off to a good start scoring early in the season, but the dude, like almost like the entire team, his offense has just been completely non-existent. And I put him almost in the same category as Mikael Granlund. Like, there's a lot of games where Nino Niederreiter is just invisible. Like, I don't notice him. It's like he's not even out there. So
absolutely,
I think you could easily unload Nino Niederreiter and just move on from him, and just say, look, that was a failed experiment. It didn't work out. That was a swing and a miss.
Yeah, but then who's going to be buddies with Roman Josi? He's always got to have a buddy. He always gets him a buddy every year. That was his buddy.
So my number one is still Dante Fabro. I mean, at this point, I'd be more shocked if he doesn't get traded.
I say the number one. Yeah, I mean, I agree totally. I think he's going to probably not be here after the trade deadline. But I think out of all your top 5, the one that everybody wants is going to be Matthias Ekholm. I know every year everybody talks about that, but I think he's going to be
the reason why I've got him so far back on my list is because I don't know. I can't see David Poile
getting rid of
parting ways with him. No, I think he cherishes his veteran defenseman, and I could see him breaking ties with Fabro a lot easier.
Yeah, that's true.
And I know Kyle's not a big Dante Fabro guy, but I still think he can get you a decent enough return, and to just because he's so young still. And he's got over. I mean, the guy's got over 500 games of NHL experience at 24 years old. I mean, that is an insane amount of experience for that being that young.
Yeah. Kevin Lankinen would be interesting, as much as I would hate to see him go because I like him a lot. If they're not doing well and you can get something for him because he's going to be gone regardless after this season.
He'd be an easy player to move. He'd be a really easy player to move.
Bring up a Skarov, let him play a little bit.
Just let him finish the season. I think, Kyle, you brought it up a few episodes ago. You said, look, like you could even do like a 60-40 split down the stretch if the Predators are way out of it. Yet you give Saros a lot of extra rest down the stretch, and you let Iskarov, you really can see what you got out of him. I love that idea. I'd be fully on board with that.
I mean, even if he goes out there and gets torched every night, like, it's experience, and that's what he needs. He needs some NHL experience.
I mean, you definitely don't want to hurt his confidence.
No. I'm just saying, he needs that experience.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's why I like it. That's why I got Kevin Lankinen on my list for sure, is because I think you could easily move him, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. The player I want traded the most is Mikael Granlund. I mean, but I just don't know what they're going to get out of him.
Yeah, I don't know. He's struggling, and like you said, pretty absent. Like, I noticed there was one time, I don't remember if they were on the power play or whatever, but like he basically was standing in the slot and did not shoot. Like he was looking for a good, perfect opportunity, and it didn't come. And then he tried to pass and like just shoot the puck. He just will not shoot the puck for some reason. I don't know.
Well, he's never been a big goal scorer at all in his career. But I mean,
if you're standing in the slot, I mean, you gotta take that shot.
Sure. I looked it up the other day. Mikael Granlund's actually averaging the fewest amount of shots on goal per game in his entire career this season. So for whatever reason, the dude is just not shooting the puck. Even though he's never been a big time goal scorer, it's gone down even more. And that really kills you if you're the Predators, because he's the type of player that you needed to show up this year. He was going to be in your top 6 core, and the fact that he's been a no-show. He's got some assists here and there, but like he is nowhere near the point producer you need him to be in the top 6. And that's why they've moved him out a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Johnny said, "Where's the Mikael Granlund who tied the game and won in overtime versus the Flames in February 2020, right before lockdown?"
How is he? He is such an encyclopedia, man. How does he even remember that? February 2020.
I remember the game. I do not remember when it was, though.
Golly, Johnny always stepping up with the stats here in the history.
Mikael Granlund's had a couple of games like that.
He's had some hero moments, that's for certain.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's what sucks. That's what sucks about the whole thing is he is just not. Well, really, all of them. None of them are.
Yes, I do remember that game now. Though that game was crazy. That game was a roller coaster.
He scored with like 0.3 seconds left, and then scored again in overtime to win it.
Yeah. They have their moments, man. They have their moments, but
so Kyle, looking at my top 5 here, is there anyone you would take off and anyone you would put in?
No, it all makes sense. I think Niederreiter still has a lot of value.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you're going to get a first for him, maybe a lower second round pick.
And he's not a long-term deal, so anyone who takes him on, they're not really.
He's just a rental, pretty much.
Is it just one or two?
He's
2 years.
He's 2, but
it was 2.
Yeah, he's only $4 million player. I mean, that's cheap. So there's plenty of teams out there hanging around in the playoff race. I could see him being added to a team that's already really good, and they just need some depth. They need a veteran depth type of player.
Honestly, I could see him going to the Rangers better than Jeannot.
I could too.
Yeah,
I could too.
In my head, he makes more sense.
I would want him more than I would Tanner Jeannot, actually.
You're gonna hear this, and you can see this on the YouTube channel with Kyle Hall, the interview we had with him. It's gonna be at the end of this episode. But he brought up an interesting point about Tanner Jeannot, though. He's gonna be an RFA this offseason. Yeah. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that the Preds could move him if the right suitor comes along. Mm-hmm. And he brought up a young player, Vitaly Kravtsov of the Rangers system. He's a former top 10 pick in the draft in 2018. Just can't find room for himself on a loaded Rangers roster. He mentioned that that would be the type of player the Rangers would be willing to send away to get a type of player like Tanner Jeannot. I found it really fascinating, but I don't know. I can't put Tanner Jeannot on my top 5 though. I can't. I can't see the Predators parting ways with someone who embodies their culture and embodies their style of play like Tanner Jeannot does.
Yeah, he's really struggled though. He is definitely on a struggle bus this year.
He's definitely not the 20-plus goal scorer.
No. I think he's somebody they're going to want to keep around just for
the rebuild.
For a rebuild, just to have that continuity and the work ethic out of a guy.
Mm-hmm.
14
points. For sure. My first trade board I released last week, I had Colton Sissons on there. I still think he could be traded, honestly, but I don't know, guys. That one would hurt. He's still got a lot of years left on his contract, but he's cheap though.
He's one of those utility players, man. He does all sorts of stuff. He's like
he's not a UFA until he's not a UFA till 2027 off season. So if someone were to trade for him, they'd definitely be investing in him a little bit, but you can't undervalue a two-way veteran player like Colton Sissons. And there's a lot of teams who are missing that type of a player on their team right now. Mm-hmm. You want a Colton Sissons on your playoff roster. Let's say you've got a ton of talent stacked up top. You got plenty of scorers. You got plenty of offensive weapons. You got plenty of speed, but you're missing that quality depth piece that can win you faceoffs, that can kill off big penalties. That's what a Colton Sissons is going to do for anyone who might want to trade for him. So I still am a little worried that Colton Sissons is the one that ends up getting traded as well. It could be multiple of these players. I could see a couple of these players that we're talking about here getting traded. Yeah. Based on what Poyle's saying.
There are a ton of free agents after this season.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have looked at it lately, but I'm going to run down the list real quick. Cody Glass, Mark Jankowski, Tanner Jeannot, Michael McCarron, Tommy Novak, Mark Borowiecki, Alexander
Novak got re-signed. Novak got re-signed.
Okay, so they haven't updated. Predators need to update their thing. That's right. Dante Fabro and Kevin Lankin and all those, except for Tommy Novak. I forgot about that.
Which is all the reason more why you need to be a seller right now, because you're going to lose some of these players anyway, most likely. You can't keep all these players. So you might as well unload them now.
You need to keep Glass. That needs to be a priority. Young guy, future main center of your team, potentially. They need, and at least they're going to give him minutes with the line that he needs to be on.
Out of the RFAs I'm looking at right here, I think you keep Cody Glass, you keep Alexander Carrier, and you keep Tanner Jeannot.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I think Mark Jankowski's probably gone. Even though I've liked what I've seen from him, I thought he's, I don't think he's like changing like an impact player or anything, but he hasn't disappointed me really like some of these other players have. But I don't see him coming back as a UFA. Like I said, I think Dante Fabro's getting traded. Kevin Lankinen's definitely not coming back. Mark Borowiecki is also
I would say he's probably going to retire.
Face retirement.
Yeah, possibly. I think Mark's done.
I think he's done, unfortunately.
Look at this, guys. Then you jump into the next offseason in 2025. Yakov Trenin's a UFA. Niederreiter will be a UFA by then. Tomasino and Parson will be RFAs. They'll be looking for at least another one-way deal by then. Cole Smith. Oh, no.
Don't bring that name up.
Our beloved Cole Smith will be a UFA again by that time. And then shield your eyes, guys. But Kevin Gravel will also be a UFA. So, I know, right? But yeah, so with your current situation with all these RFAs, it makes all the more sense to go ahead and trade Dante Fabro. It's going to be hard for me to move him off my top spot on my trade board till the deadline happens.
Yep.
Somebody's going to see him and be like, "Ooh, we can fix him." And
that's
sure.
That's what all these teams say whenever a Predator comes up. We can fix them.
Ellie Tolvanen.
Oh, don't say that name either. Oh my gosh.
Are there any names?
Every time a goal, somebody has to put on Facebook about.
It's so annoying. At this point, it's really annoying.
I'm like, he parks his car straight in the parking spot, and everybody's like, Predators ruined him. Fire John Hine. He went to the grocery store and he found a really good sale on eggs. Fire. It's Poyle's fault. Fire him.
I'm not ready to talk about that one yet. I'm still too hurt.
There's like accounts out there that are like literally giving an Ellie Tolvanen update every day, and then hashtagging, and then they're hashtagging Smashville and Preds. It's like, let it go. The guy's gone. All right, he ain't coming back.
Yeah, like he wasn't happy here. He had opportunities.
We don't need a daily update on how good Ellie Tolvanen's doing in Seattle.
Yeah.
We don't need it. All right, guys.
He had opportunities, whether through his fault or the organization. It just didn't work out. It doesn't work out every time. You can't make it work out if it's not going to work
out. I mean, it could end up – I will say this. It could end up going down as one of Poyle's worst blunders of his Preds career. I will go that far as say that.
Maybe. But if you remember, Tolvanen played really well in the previous season, and then he got hurt and then dropped off the face of the planet. But he was playing like he was in Seattle almost. Probably not that good.
Ooh. Johnny's pulling out his crystal ball here. I don't like the sound of this. I'm still waiting for the end of March when Seattle comes into Nashville for 2 games in 3 days. You know, Tolvanen is going to have 1, if not 2 big games versus the Preds in revenge.
Maybe. We'll see.
That'd be according to script, you know.
That'd
be following the script for sure.
Maybe not.
All right. Let's move on here in episode 173 of Catfish Ice. Got a couple more orders of business to get to. Guys, how are we feeling about – first of all, I know you guys saw the we haven't been together since the Forsberg really scary incident where he –
oh, my gosh.
In real time, I was like really, really scared for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looked really bad.
Yeah, so when I saw on Twitter, somebody had a video of him when he was trying to get up off the ice, and he looked like he didn't know where he was. And I was like, he's done for a while, months, probably months. Yep. But he looked like he did not know where he was for sure. And he was really struggling. So that was scary for sure.
It was very scary. And the way it happened so quick in real time, I assumed it had something to do with like his shoulder or something. Because the way he was laying, it looked like maybe he had dislocated his shoulder, or like I didn't see the whole, you know, his head hitting the ice thing. But once you saw that in slow motion, his head bounced off the ice like a freaking basketball.
That was like the first thing to hit the ice.
And he absolutely looked punch drunk. He looked punch drunk coming off the ice when they had to help him off. I mean, he did not look like he knew where he was. It was a very, very scary scene.
Yeah.
He was hurting pretty bad.
You know, they got him listed as day-to-day, which, I mean, we were all worried, could this be a season-ending injury at first, like the way it looked at first. But, I mean, I think he's got to miss at least a couple more games. You can't rush back head injuries. You don't mess with stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, I was surprised, actually, the same. Like you are, like you watch the video and you're like, you know, he's going to be out for a while, but I don't know.
It had to have been a concussion. I mean, they're not going to release exactly. They usually don't release that type of stuff in the NHL, but it has to do with the concussion symptoms. And so I would not expect him to play against Boston. I wouldn't rush him back if you know, you're talking about the superstar of your franchise here, one of them anyway. You're not going to rush him back, you know. And you know, unfortunately, Forsberg's been snake bitten lately too, you know.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately,
you can't rush him back even against Boston. I think you got to keep him out at least another week, if you ask me, most likely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
but
at this point, is this season worth it to put him in danger?
Absolutely not.
No, not at all.
I mean, it's never really worth it, especially with a head injury, but it's definitely not worth it considering, you know, I don't think he makes them a better team, but like if you were to rush him back to play against Boston tomorrow and he suffers another really bad hit and then he misses like multiple weeks, you know, you can't even take that chance.
Yeah.
Can't take that chance.
Yeah.
And so now you're getting, you know, like you're getting to see Philip Tomasino, which is a good thing. That's what we didn't want it. We didn't want to get Philip Tomasino back through this type of circumstance, obviously, but now you can see Philip Tomasino up here and you can let him play a few games and hopefully he can make a bigger impact as he gets more time. But it's hard for any of these players to make an impact right now because the whole team is just playing like garbage. So maybe we'll see if Tomasino can offer a spark, you know,
just anything, just any little shred of a spark would be good.
I mean, really right now, the only player that's really aside from UC Saros, the only player that's really impressing me right now, like it's really like, wow, you're bringing it. And I'm talking about the veterans here. I know Parsons having a great year when he's not buried on the fourth line. I know. Yeah. and I know Cody Glass is having a really, really quality year. It's awesome to see him do well. But other than that, the only veteran that I've really been impressed with this year and lately is Matt Duchene.
Mm-hmm.
He is the only one that seems like he gives a damn right now out of the veterans.
He does. Yeah.
And I'm going to include Roman Josi in that. I really am. I mean, he is not above criticism. I know we love Roman Josi, and he's awesome, but he's not above criticism here. But Matt Duchene has been showing me something. He looks like he actually gives a damn right now. And, you know, he's always been a type of player that gets accused of not caring enough. He's kind of flipped the script on everybody. That used to be one of his biggest criticisms from fans was how streaky he was and how he looked disengaged from the game. That dude has been bringing it lately. He's been doing everything he can. He scored the game-winning goal in overtime to beat Philly. He's finding ways to do whatever he can right now. But he needs help, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he
can't do it on his own.
After – I don't remember which game it was in Bridgestone. He was telling the fans, you know, you guys need to just stick with this and hang on. But that didn't really do anything.
Well, apparently, I don't know if you guys saw, but ticket sales on Ticketmaster and all these third-party sites are plummeting to go to Predators games right now. Like, people can't give their tickets away right now.
And that's sad. That's a shame. Because it's fun.
Yeah.
Even when they lose, it's fun. I mean, it's a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, guys, I don't know if you saw, but I am going to be going to the March 2nd game when the Predators play at the Panthers. So I'm going to be marking off another NHL arena off my list. My goal is to eventually knock them all off. Still got a long ways to go there on that one. But so I'm going to go down to Sunrise, Florida, which is right outside Fort Lauderdale, check out the Panthers Stadium, and I cannot believe how cheap tickets are to go to Panthers games. I got a lower bowl ticket, 10 rows from the ice for $26.
Wow. How'd you do that? Is that just how much they are?
Because apparently I think people just have better things to do in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I don't know because
that's crazy.
Man,
what
I couldn't believe it. Like, yeah, I mean, it's
deal, man. That'll be.
And you know that's going to be the night. That's going to be the night before the trade deadline. So I feel like by then, hopefully, maybe by then a trade has already happened. Who knows? I'm ready for it. You know, I'm going to be a loud and proud fan. I'm going to show up in my Preds gear. I'll probably be the only one down there wearing Preds stuff. But you know what? It's okay.
Yeah. Hopefully hopefully they don't have one of those stupid rules where you can't wear the opposing teams.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they would. Like, even
I'm sure people there so bad that they're.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, even last year when they were playing good, you'd watch the games and there'd be empty seats. Like, I mean,
they've just never really gotten a lot of support, even when they're good. I don't know why. It's just I don't know if it's the location. I don't know, but I'm gonna check it out and I'm gonna figure it out because I'm excited to watch the Panthers. They're a fun team to watch. They haven't been as good as people thought they were going to be this year, but, you know, going to get to see my guy Matthew Tkachuk in there. You know, I'm excited about that.
Woo!
I know you love the Tkachuks, man. I love you. I know you love the Tkachuks so much.
I want to like him, though, because he's a really good player. I just can't do it. Just
can't do it.
Yeah. That'll be fun, though, man.
All right.
Awesome. So how many
arenas have I knocked off? I've only knocked off like 5. I've been to Columbus. I've been to Columbus. I've been to Tampa. I've been to Dallas, and I'm leaving out one.
Bridgestone, and then now this one.
I guess this is going to be number 5. Yeah, my list. I started doing this like 3 years ago. So like.
There was a Coyotes fan on Twitter that thanked Bridgestone and the Predators because that was her 26th arena she's been to. So I thought that was pretty cool. That would be so fun.
That's pretty cool.
I would love to do.
I really want to go to Mullet Arena. I want to go to Mullet Arena.
Yeah,
and see the college atmosphere. Arizona Coyotes. That would be how much? How many years are they playing there? How many years they say?
I think it would be like 3, right?
I think so. That sounds right.
I mean,
plus that's like the best name for arena I've ever heard. Mullet Arena is so perfect for a team like the Coyotes.
Pretty good.
All right, before we send you over to the final segment of episode 173 with Kyle Hall of the Broadway Hat Podcast, we got so many Kyles around here lately.
Yeah, I'm getting confused.
I mean, we had, like a couple guests ago, we had a Kyle Pereira join us, and now we've got a new Predlines writer, Kyle Fleming. We got all these Kyles floating around here. I can't keep up with them all.
Mm-hmm.
But Kyle Hall's coming up to close out episode 173. We got to talk about his thoughts on Tanner Jeannot and how he would love Tanner Jeannot to be in a trade with the Rangers. So we got into that. We got into some other stuff. Patrick Kane is probably the top trade target right now, along with Timo Myers up there as well. But Patrick Kane listed 2 of his teams he wants to go to, and one of them is the Rangers.
Yep, and he played in
the Rangers and the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, they played Toronto tonight, and they got torched. Maple Leafs lit them up. Willie Nylander scored the first goal of the game 9 seconds into the first period.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a track.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I think Patrick Kane's going to the Rangers. I think it's a done deal. He's always wanted to play for New York, apparently. He wants to be on the big stage in the big market in New York, so I think it's as good as done that Patrick Kane's going to go to the Rangers. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We are presented by DraftKings and also Raycon. Let me tell you about Raycon real quick. This time of year, everyone's talking about making big changes, which is all well and good, but most of the time, it's pretty unrealistic. So I've actually found the smallest changes to your routine can make the biggest impact. In the same way, you don't have to break the bank to make a big deal purchase. Even the smallest things can be a part of a big change if it's something you use every day, like my Raycons. Raycon is a premium audio at the perfect price point, so you can build great habits without breaking the bank. So with Raycons, if you're on a jog, if you're gaming, if you're doing anything like that, then Raycons are the perfect earbuds for you. They fit comfortably. The sound quality is amazing, and the best part is they're half the price of the competitors. I mean, that right there alone should pull you in. Whether you're looking for a pair of everyday earbuds, low latency gaming headphones, or a speaker with a battery that will last all night at your next party, Raycon's got you covered. And yep, Raycons start at half the price of other premium audio brands. So you don't even have to choose between products. You can get one of each or a pair and a spare and still pay less than you would with some of the other guys. Even if you know you'll love your Raycons as much as I do, Raycon wants to make sure you feel great about your purchase. They offer buy now, pay later options. Every purchase has an easy and free return guarantee. 3 customizable sound profiles, earbud tap functions. That's one of my favorite functions is being able to just tap the earbud and you can push pause. You can skip to the next episode. That's one of the coolest functions they got is the earbud tap function. Noise isolation, awareness mode, custom gel tips for the perfect, most comfortable in-ear fit, crystal clear call quality, and water and sweat resistant. That's another good one. The water resistant, if you're laying out by the pool and you accidentally jump in the pool, they're still going to work for you. So everyday earbuds or 11 everyday speakers and hours of playing time. Raycon, promo code THPN to get in on our offer for the earbuds or a wireless speaker, or you can get both. All right, everybody. We will see you next week for a brand new episode. Until then, we hope you enjoy the interview we had with Kyle Hall of the Broadway Hat Podcast, who covers the Rangers, also covers USA Hockey. Everyone should go follow him. He's a really good follow. He puts out a lot of really good content. Until then, we appreciate everyone jumping on the YouTube channel tonight to watch the live portion, or if you're watching on Twitter, we can't thank you enough. We love all of you. You're like family to us. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button on YouTube and also follow us on Twitter, and we will definitely follow you back as well and talk hockey with you. Till then, everyone have a great week.
See you, everybody.